Graphite miners on the ASX are up between 30 and 48% over the last month as we see the rise of commodity companies continue to surge. This is Final Market Points, where we connect the leading market themes and the top performing companies for better trading. You can like the video to support the channel, click subscribe for updates, and comment below to let us know which graphite miners you're trading. Now, when we have a look at the market, we want to know the context of how it's traded, and we want to have a look at some international companies that are in the same space to get context of what's moving. First off, we know the Australian market have been rising to highs, breaking out of the 7,400 resistance and trading up towards 7,600 as you can see on the chart. What we want to do is also have a look at the top performing companies on the ASX in the graphite space, and we do note that some of these are the smaller caps that have performed the best, but there are the large names that we've seen consistently before in this graphite space over the last few months and years. First off, we do also see that ETF ACDC, which has exposure to battery technology, because we know that the graphite exposure and the demand is really driven by this battery technology and how that's being pushed on by economies and fiscal and federal governments pushing on that demand as long as green targets. But jumping in, we want to see that the sixth best performer this month, starting off with Syrah Resources, a company that we've seen many times before because it has been a consistent riser. That movement in November, December, we can see on the chart, pushing up to create a high and tight flag, did pull back down, didn't really create too much of a flag congestion, but did break out with huge volume down here in December and continue to run, churn sideways, trading over that 50-day moving average, and then breaking under that 50-day moving average as it continued to churn sideways, drift lower, and then come back down, sitting around support around here, and then coming back in to touch near that 200-day moving average. The 50-day and the 200-day didn't cross over. We did see it break out, whether this is a VCP here, coming down for one contraction, a second contraction, a third, and then a very small fourth one on this 50-day moving average and surging out. If we're looking for the pocket pivot side of things, zooming in to see this huge volume here on the 13th of July, breaking out from swing highs, overhead resistance, VCP resistance, also being the pocket pivot from the 10-day moving average, this blue line, and right near that 50-day moving average. Quite often, Gil Morales and Chris Karcher will say that when you get a high volume day like we see here on the 13th of July, breaking out from overhead resistance right next to that 10-day and 50-day moving average, that adds more validity to the run, and you can see that breaking out, trading over 110, closing up over 150 in the last trading session, but trading up towards that 161 level in the last couple of days. That's Syrah Resources, 42% gain over the last month. EGR, Ecograf, a company we have looked at before, another leading graphite exposure, graphene is what we're looking at here, and that's been a good strong move. Similar thing, breaking out 16th of July, so we did see the 13th of July, a mild day, the 14th of July, they broke out following Syrah. That did see them coming out off the 10-day moving average, again close to that 50-day moving average, seeing here that they came up towards overhead resistance swing highs, bringing that out for the yearly, we can see same sort of run up here. High tight flag didn't really have that tight congestion, fell, broke down, failed under the 50-day moving average, drifted under, came back towards it, and then created that VCP. So one contraction here, tiny one here, another one here. Fundamentals are very different on this time of company from the Mark Minervini perspective, but zeroing in to see where it broke out, we can jump in here, have a look at that breakout, which is July around the same time. That's why we're always surfacing the same themes, because what we do see is that the leading companies don't work in isolation. It's very rare for them to do that. When we see a top performing company, there's often sister companies, is what Jesse Livermore called them. Sister companies, they work in industries, thematics, they trade together. So when you see interest in one, you'll often see interest in others. That's what we're surfacing here, is those companies that are performing in that same thematic. And that's what we've seen here, breaking out. And then recently, on the 3rd of August, breaking out once again, decent volume here, good green candle, and surging up for that recent push. Getting Ecograf, that's 63% gain for the quarter, but 38% over the month. MNS, another company we have seen, Magnis Energy, bringing that out. Have a look at them on the yearly chart. Same sort of movement, big run in January, pulled back down. Did have a good breaking out to new highs in April, but drifted back down very quickly under the 50-day moving average, this green line. Coming back to touch near the 200-day moving average. Trawling along in between the two. Importantly, that 50-day moving average did not cross under. That's a technical indicator that a lot of traders look for. But it went into trading hold, held here, and then broke out with huge volume and getting up to where it is now. That's MNS. Magnis Energy for number 4. Novonix, a favourite for traders, a very popular company that we see a lot of interest in, and that chart showing in January, there's no little reason you couldn't see why there's that interest in this company. Traded up, maintained most of its rally, came back down towards that 200-day moving average again, 50-day, the green line, above the red line, the 200-day moving average, trading in here. So this is a contraction, one big contraction. The second one seems to be bigger. Third, fourth, a smaller one here in June, and then a really tight one here in July, before we see all what we've seen so far, all of these graphite miners break out. So what we're seeing on the date here, 13th of July, same time as Syrah Resources, running up. They got up to 42% from the month. Novonix is up 76%, but clearly that big kicker is coming here in August. So 6th of August gets up towards it, goes in trading hold, and then 10th of August really breaks out, puts on those massive gains above $3, straight up to $4.20. Huge movement there for Novonix to come in at number 3. SYA at number 2, similar pattern here, strong January, drifting back throughout into March, sitting on the 50-day, falling in under, then getting quite tight here on 24th of May, trading hold, breaking out with good volume, and then starting that kick. So getting sort of that 4.5, 5 cents running up, bit of consolidation at 6 again. Less volume here on this rally, getting up towards 10 cents, falling back down, not getting under the 50-day, but falling under that 10-day moving average. Consolidating on the 10-day, and that's what we'll zoom in for that pocket pivot perspective. Gilmore Rallies, Chris Karcher, what they call themselves as the O'Neill disciples. Here's that breakout, just off the 10-day moving average, breaking out over the swing high. Huge volume down here, getting out towards 10 cents and starting that spurt to 14 cents to get them a 44.7% gain for the month. That's number 2. But we will see RNU, Renascor Resources, a favourite in this space. And this chart really shows why it did get so much interest. January, February, when the other ones started pulling back throughout March, they're still roaring ahead. Falling back into April, but still maintaining a massive gain, coming from sort of that 1 cent space to 16 cents, sitting back down into the 7 cents, so contracting here under the 50-day moving average, the green line, then it's kind of just undercutting it. So whether that's a spring, not really, because it did trawl out a bit of a bottom here, and then get under that 50-day moving average. When we zero in, have a look at these time frames for that large green candle. 16th of July comes up to the 50-day moving average after we saw the 13th of July when most of them ended up having that break, and then falling back under, eventually pushing back over 27th of July. So a lot of them did this in early August, and then maintaining tight here until the 4th of August. They're breaking out 8 cents and off they go to where they are now at 11 cents for a 48% gain over the month. They are the best performers over the month. When we pull this out and have a look over the quarter, you can really see that 76% gain from Novonix, and that's showing on this chart here. You can really see that massive rally. Then we bring it out to have a look at it on the yearly perspective. So when we try to sort these by the year, you see 260 Eurograph. Zooming out so you can really see that movement. We're coming back here almost 12 months ago in August, looking at 7.1 cents. Now they're just shy of $1. They're the top graphite, graphene, graphite exposed companies on the ASX. Best performance is 260% for the month, 48% for the month, I should say, 260% for the year. Again, you can subscribe to continue to get these updates, like the video to support the channel, and comment below to let us know which graphite miners you're trading and why.